Hi guys, welcome back to Lunatic Astrology. Your astrologer Lori Luthian here talking about Jupiter's ingress into Aries on May 10th or 11th, depending on where you live, and the all signs roundup of how that might affect you. Before we get going into this really fun but quick half-hour video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And also, just so you know, I have a few cool things going on. Have you always wanted to learn astrology and when you've tried and it hasn't been successful, or you get confused when you try, or you just never had an opportunity to learn with a live teacher in a live class setting, come join me. I'm teaching my Sky Reader class for beginner to very lightly intermediate astrologers. I'm teaching you the art of astrology over 6 weeks live on Sundays on a live 90-minute Zoom call with classroom support, replay access, weekly Wednesday night coaching calls, and a huge amount of content that I've created to make it super simple, very fun and easy to learn how to read your natal chart and how to use some four really cool and easy divine timing techniques from astrology that can help you make good timing decisions. So it's called Be Your Own Astrologer, Time Your Best Life. Check out the link below. If you are not a subscriber to my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter and you would like to get a 25% discount code off the already low early bird price, then please subscribe to my newsletter. And as soon as you do the Cosmic Moonshine newsletter weekly forecast, link below, you will have an autoresponder generating a welcome email. Check your spam. And you'll also get access to my astrology program, which starts, by the way, I should have said when it starts, on May the 22nd. Okay. You'll get 25% off the early bird rate, which is a fantastic discount. Let's get talking about Jupiter in Aries. So every 12 years, Jupiter will go into the sign of Aries. And he does this because he takes 12 years to go around the zodiac. So the first thing I'd say is, of course, what is it like when he's here for you? Go back and look at the last time he was here and ask yourself, what did it feel like when Jupiter was in Aries way back when? So that was back in June 2010 already. And then he zipped backwards into Pisces, I think in September. And then in February to June of 2011, Jupiter was back in Pisces. So he was breaking up his transit. And just so you know, the same thing happens this time. So yes, it is until the 28th of October, from May 10th or 11th to the 27th, 28th of October, depending on where you live, that he's in Aries, but he only makes it to the 8th degree before stationing to retrograde back into Pisces. He'll be stationing at 8 degrees around the 23rd of July, then backpedaling into Pisces. So when he comes into Pisces from October 28th to December 20th, he'll only be within the last 2 degrees of the sign of Pisces. And then December 20th, he zips forward back into Aries until mid-May 2023. So you have to also see this as a chunky 2-part story, just like it was back in 2010. Remember I said February to September, and then again, June to September, and then again, February to June of 2011. All right. Oh my God, guys, I don't think I got enough sleep last night. All right. So let's start talking about how this might look in your sky based on your sun, moon, and rising sign. I'm not going to talk about world events on this, other than to say Jupiter will be joined by Mars, and we'll be talking about that as a separate video on May 24th. That's got a very commander-in-chief war-y vibe to it. Mars and Jupiter can be very amplification of warlike activities. Jupiter expands things. Mars is into the war story. We'll see where that leads us. And the other thing I'd say about him being here, Jupiter in Aries, it's really good for things that are Arian, right? So it's really, Jupiter is justice and benefic energies. And before we actually get to Mars's ingress, we might see some things like some solutions or some resolutions or some fairness around things like the war in the Ukraine or whatever else. We have Venus in Aries as well until the 28th of May. She got there on May the 2nd, and she also will try her best to bring peace to warlike situations. All right, let's get going and talk about sun, moon, and rising sign. Now, first of all, I say this every time, but I'm a whole sign Hellenistic astrologer with a bit of Babylonian archetypal astrology tossed in. But the idea is I'm using whole sign houses. When you listen to any YouTube channel, guys, and people are going Aries, sun, moon, and rising, or Aries rising, or whatever, they're delineating as if we're looking at whole sign houses. So do not worry about your Placidus system, which, you've got like Pisces over 2 houses or something. It just understand that we're talking about your rising sign as if we are looking at whole sign houses. Number two, don't forget to check your rising sign always first. And if you're born at night, maybe your moon, born in the day, maybe your sun. Either way, you know, they will give you a little more flavor. You could look at the sun as more like your purpose, and maybe your career zone is a general principle, and your moon, your emotional set point, and how you feel about situations in your life when you're listening to those delineations, moon sign and sun sign. Let's get started. So we're talking first about Aries, of course, because it's in your sign, Aries, sun, moon, and rising. This is all about you. Well, as an Aries sun and moon, I'm really excited by this myself. I did like Jupiter last time in 2010, 11 back in Aries, and it was really exciting for me. A lot of really cool, exciting things happened. Now, you know, Aries, you know, is very adventuring, risk-taking, and daring, independent, fiery energy to begin with. So if you are this kind of person, especially if it's your rising sign, Jupiter enters into the house of you and expands all of the things that you already are. You're willing to take risks. You're willing to go big or go home. You know, if you are not walking on the edge, you're taking up too much room, Aries. I mean, this is how Jupiter will expand your sense of self. If it's your rising sign, it could be the beginning of putting on a bit of weight because he makes things girthier, but it'll be a temporary condition. When he leaves, it'll be all gone again. So it's just, you know, expanding you physically, emotionally, mentally, etc. You may feel buoyant, optimistic during this time. This is especially true if your rising sign, sun or moon Aries is between the 0 degrees and let's say 13 degrees of Aries, because, well, let's go 8, let's go to 11 degrees of Aries. So 0 to 11 Aries degrees, you'll feel it a lot stronger, okay? And that's because he only makes it to the 8th degree of Aries before turning around. And we'll be doing more delineations as we go, alrighty, during the this whole transit, so that if you listen, if you subscribe and like and all that, you'll find out, like, for instance, when he's going to retrograde, how that might impact you. All right, this is just an idea of everybody's sign. It's a general gist, so this is not a deep dive. But last thing for you, Aries, when Mars gets there on the 24th and he'll spend 6 weeks with Jupiter, you are like literally killing it in something that you're trying to do. Your action and your ambition and your hope and your optimism are on steroids. It's a really good time for you, Aries, especially rising sign, but all Aries, sun and moon as well. Moving on to Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. So this is behind you, Taurus. This is happening in your 12th house, right? So you could look at this as a very interesting spiritual window of time that goes about a year, where you're going to open up to teachers and gurus and guides and inner guidance. And you might have the big dreams, you know, like the shamanic big dreams during this transit. A lot of people do. Dreams pick up. You might want to learn something, but if you do, it's really dharmic and it's really important to you. You're not going to learn like how to crochet unless you want to be a crochet master. And you could also find yourself in a situation where you are able to overcome self-undoing addictions, bad habits and patterns, because with this kind of self-undoing that happens with the 12th house, Jupiter here can be like, he is a benefic, like a solution god. Like, let me help you with your self-undoing. Let me help you recover from your addictions and let's get rid of this stuff. So you might take courses or classes to do that, but whatever, solutions will be at hand for you. And lastly, my hair is so frizzy today. I think with your Jupiter transit in your 12th house, if you are someone like me who makes money on PayPal or Stripe accounts, because it can represent the barter trade from overseas or foreign lands, this can be really auspicious. And you may find yourself picking up speed in terms of flow of cash in that regard. All righty. And that's about it. Taurus, sun, moon, rising. Let's move on to Gemini, sun, moon, rising sign. So, all right, Gemini. So this is back in your 11th house and sextiling your ascendant. If your sun, moon, or rising is between, as I said, for everybody, 0 degrees and about 11 degrees, you get a lot of intensity around this. You know, my daughter's sun is around that, in that swath, around 9 degrees of Taurus. Social, oh, sorry, we're in Gemini. Stop, Gemini. So anyway, so the 11th house is something that is about luck and goodness and karmic rewards and fairy godmothers and house of good spirit. It's how you can also be in part of larger groups of social belonging, a place of friends and allies who people want to help you, give you a leg up. It's a great financial gain from your 10th house of career. So some of those themes are expanding for Geminis. And if you've been down in the dumps about anything to do with financial gain from your career or recognition from your career, or even feeling stressed out about the people that you're friends with, like, oh, it's not the crew for you. This is going to really amplify that house, and it's going to give you new and exciting groups of belonging. Now, don't forget, this first ingress period is till October 28th, and it'll pick up again later on December 20th into May of next year. But in the short run, with Mars joining forces with Jupiter on the 24th of the month, that's when you could end up taking some serious action and drive around creating community, leading community, or starting to belong to a new community of some sort. And sometimes add Mars in there, you may cut some people away, but Jupiter blesses it. Like, I'm no longer going to belong to that group. I'm not going to belong to that friendship circle. So that would start up for you, this kind of cutting away of those groups sometime around the 24th of May, add 6 weeks. Moving forward, let's move to Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So Cancer people, this energy of having the transit of Jupiter in the career house is nothing short of spectacular. If you have been striving to improve your career, to get more recognition, to get a raise or a promotion, to actually kind of be more of a leader, if that's something that matters to you, is to like reach up to a higher level of authority or power in your career, this is exceptionally good for your advancement. People in power will look fondly upon you, and you can advance up to higher ranks with Jupiter in your 10th house. Your reputation can also increase. If you are wanting to change jobs or change careers, then Jupiter up here will help you do that in a successful way. And if you've been on a path for a long time in Cancer, this is where things can really hit that kind of critical mass or that apex energy for the career path that you are on. So said proactive advice is just go for it and really jump full big energy into career. Lastly, this energy with Mars in the 24th at 6 weeks, the 24th of May, this is where you are driven, passionate, taking grand actions in your career zone. Mars up here is going to also cut away anything you don't need, including sometimes, people in the career space could leave, right? Like the boss retires or gets fired, and it allows you to advance. Mars is good at severing and ending things that could also benefit you with Jupiter up there. All righty. Moving on to the old Leos, Sun, Moon, and Rising people. So Leo, you have this energy of Jupiter over the next few months until October 28th, traveling through your 9th house. And this can really support adventures to foreign lands, entrance into higher education, getting accepted at a school or starting to study there, or being favored by a teacher or a professor there. If you're religious or spiritual, your spiritual and religious and faith-based beliefs in life are going to expand. And lastly, if you're into the book publishing world for any reason, this is hugely auspicious for you in that regard. The 9th house has to do with the meaning of our individual lives, the Dharma. It's an intercosmos, or between the world's house. So you may find that you're expanding your sense of the reality track that you want your train to go down in terms of your life's purpose and what you're on the planet for. And Jupiter will help find you guides or mentors or coaches or teachers that help expand that for you. So if you're not sure where you want to go in life, then somebody shows up, a guide, teacher, mentor, and you're off to the races. So just trust Jupiter. He's Santa Claus, and he's got your back in the 9th house of God. And I say foreign lands and travel, yeah, very beneficial for that, for you, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. When Mars gets here, especially, and also court cases. Jupiter is justice in the house of courts. So if you need to prevail in a legal situation that involves courts and legal affairs like judges or juries or stuff like that, good for you. You'll probably do fine. And then with Mars coming here on May the 24th, adding 6 weeks, this is where your like court battles are winning, or this is where your travel is really heating up. You're really going on adventures, or this is where there's a lot of momentum in your education or in your sense of faith and hope and belief in what's real and true for you. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising signs. So the energy of Jupiter moving through your 8th house. Well, number one, for you guys, Virgos, this is a bequeathment transit. And so it does happen to ongo all the way through to October 28th. And it comes back again on December 20th to mid-May. So for some of you, if there's an elder family member parent, grandparent who may be passing away over the next year, this does speak to an inheritance coming your way. Now, this also can lead to expansion of your money in other ways too. You might invest in a stock or crypto. You might put some money down in some kind of investment structure that begins to really pay off, or you need a bank loan or a mortgage and you get it and you can't believe it, or you're able to pay off your credit card debt. It's kind of like Jupiter's expanding that kind of money, or your spouse's money or business partner's money is expanding and you're benefiting from that as well. So it's a very positive financial transit. And so for all of you Virgo risings, I'm so happy for you because it really does really happen to light up your money story. You might want to go back to 2010, 11, listen to the beginning of my video for those dates to see how that impacted you then. With Mars moving through the 8th house on May 24th, add 6 weeks. Mars in the 8th house, especially co-present with Jupiter, can be a passing of somebody during that window of time. Not necessarily, but for some of you that may be true. Without that theme, then maybe Jupiter and Mars together will make you take massive imperfect action, massive action to succeed in something in your investment structures, your finances, your bookkeeping, your taxes, or your investment and partner money. So Mars will make you very actionable and taking very strong actions around and decisions around money matters in your life, Virgo. I'm going to sneeze, guys. Give me a minute. Oh, okay. I think the urge to sneeze is past, but hang on a sec. All right. Next, moving forward. I told you it was a quickie. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign people. The energy of Jupiter moving through Aries is going to be in your natal 6th house. And this is about your health and work routines for both health and work. And I mean, if you work in an office, it could be the co-worker space, or it could be the collegiate space for employer employees. So now Jupiter's expanding that. This can be very much about work and getting some successful events going on, extending your work success, maybe getting promotions raised or new jobs or new job opportunities. And if you've been working on your health, Jupiter here usually means good health outcomes for anything you're doing for your health. And it sometimes means learning about something for your health, like taking a class or learning something so that you can get healthy. So don't think about it all about just what you do, but maybe what you discover or learn. I always find Jupiter in the 6th house for clients with health challenges when it's transiting there has really led to like solutions, so finding solutions for ongoing health challenges. But certainly it picks up a lot of speed in your workplace, and you could be succeeding or killing it in the work community. It's a lovely transit. Mars joins Jupiter May 24th at 6 weeks. Now you are on fire at work. And if you're talking about health, you're exercising, you're probably going for runs, or you're doing something physical or lifting weights. So it could pick up your physical action regime, but also for the work you're doing, it's like you're driven, you're passionate, you're focused, and you're really taking a lot of action for success in your work. Sagittarius, sun, moon, rising sign. In your story, you've got Jupiter and Aries moving through your 5th house of romance and your fun in life. And Jupiter would love to expand your fun or pleasure and joy and enjoyment and inspiration. Now for creative Sagittarius, Jupiter here will be inspiring your art, your muse, your creativity. That could go through the roof. It can also bring up a lot of passion and expansion of the relationship area of your life if you have a lover or a relationship partner. And if you're single, it could bring someone in. And if you want to have a baby, this is a fertility transit. So Jupiter going through your 5th house, Sag rising, especially sun and moon to some degree, expect maybe a baby situation. If you want one, yay. If you don't, be careful, especially, because Jupiter does love to make babies. If you are especially a Sag rising in the first 11 degrees of Sagittarius, especially, this is very much a cautionary note to not get a partner pregnant or yourself pregnant if that's not something you're looking forward to. When Mars steps in there on the 5th, unfortunately, that is a bit of an old miscarry abortion transit. So you don't want to have to mop up after Jupiter. So on the 24th of May through to early July, watch out for that. But otherwise, Mars is a god of passion and the archetype of, sexuality being really robust, and he moves into the romance house with Jupiter. It could be a lovely romantic getaway with you and a partner, or just an amazingly intense picking up of romance and sexuality and fun in your life. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising sign. Well, guess what, Caps? This energy of Jupiter ingressing into your fourth house is all about your home. And if you are somebody who wants to expand your home, like buy a larger home or add an addition to your home or make your home more joyous and big and larger and beautiful. I mean, just Jupiter, if you want a goodness to your home, this is so great. And especially when Mars gets there on March the 24th to, early July, May the 24th to early July, this can be about construction or building, like taking action like that in your house to make it larger and bigger. Here comes the construction crew to build the outhouse or to build the swimming pool or whatever else you need, the extra addition. This is also sometimes a little bit connected to legacy, money from the family of origin, particularly maybe the mother or mother's side. For some of you Capricorns, it could be a part of a story of an inheritance or a legacy from the mother or the passing of the mother, especially with Mars getting into that part of the chart. And I mean, don't worry if your mother's 32 or something, you're a little kid listening to this. I mean, I'm talking about elder parents ready to pass. But May the 24th through to the first week of July, if you have an aging elderly mom kind of vibe, that could definitely be Mars going through your fourth house, creating an exit strategy for that soul. And anything else, watch for arguments in the house. Jupiter expands everything it connects with, and Mars will be in there. It's his sign, right? He's in great dignity, but just watch out for when Mars gets there on the 24th of May to early July, arguing with people that you're living with. Make sure that you are not in a combustible, combative mode where things inflate Jupiter out of hand. Learn the art of peacekeeping. You have Venus trying to keep the peace there until the 28th of May. So after that, though, oh my God, June could be full of contention with your children at home or your partner at home, whoever, your roommates in the house, whatever. Aquarius, sun, moon, rising sign. That's me. I'm an Aquarius rising. We have this energy of Jupiter moving through our Aries fired up third house of siblings and extended family, like the nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, and cousins. And this energy can be so happy and so auspicious for us if we want to travel. Oh my God, guys, I've been locked down and untraveling since this pandemic. And I'm so excited because it does bode well for me being able to get into travel mode. And in fact, you can't make this up. A friend of mine in Ontario is coming here and we're going to spend some time together traveling on a ferry and stuff. So that's already in play and it times up perfectly. The trip just came up as an option with the transit of Jupiter through the travel house, short trips and travel, not going off to foreign lands necessarily, more domestic, more local, more national travel kind of vibe. So Jupiter's expanding that. And if you want to get into some writing projects, go for it, because Jupiter will expand and bring luck to all your writing projects and anything to do with marketing, especially if you have online world stuff going on. Like say you have websites you're developing or courses you're taking or teaching. So yes, I didn't remind everybody, but sign up for my astrology course, the Sky Reader course. Check it out. Why not? Because I'm going to be, as Aquarius rising, having Jupiter in my teaching house, I can tell you it'll probably go really well. So Aquarius, you're the only one who got the pitch. I wasn't working on pitching everybody, but I should have. But if you want to learn something online, especially, or short skills-based learning courses like an astrology class, Sky Reader with me, this is very beneficial. And if you're like me and you teach classes, and I've been teaching classes online for like 6 years, then this is very helpful as well for online teaching or any kind of teaching, in fact. Anything else I want to say about that third house? I know I'm going to forget something. It's one of the busy houses. No, I think that's siblings, it's your siblings. So expanding your relationship with your siblings, good news or good luck for your sibling. May the 24th, add 6 weeks. You might expect something going on here regarding your siblings and travel or moves or new directions for your siblings or for you in relationship to them. And when it comes to real good travel, Mars likes to travel when he's in the third house and he's in dignity. So, hey, May 24th, early July, travel away, have fun, enjoy yourself. I certainly will be. And lastly, but not leastly, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. Well, Jupiter is in your second house. And if you are wanting more money in your life, get ready, set, go. This is a super beautiful transit. It's almost a year, as you know, but we're breaking this down to the October 28th period. And so it's when Jupiter juice applies to resources and all the things you need to survive or thrive. You're lucky in money stories and survival stories and thrival stories regarding resources. And now possessions belong to the second house. So you might get larger possessions. You might get a bigger boat, a bigger car, a bigger house, because he bigs up stuff. And then when Mars arrives on the scene in the money possessions house, which is the 24th of May till the first week of July, then things get really exciting here. You may be taking exciting choices, actions, and bold directions around money, or Mars could help you cut away money, things you don't need, like sell the house, sell the car, sell your antique rug or whatever. And Jupiter says, and you're so lucky. It turns out you can get so much money for that. So for a lot of you Pisces, whichever way you cut this mustard, you're getting a lot of money. Mars entering into the part of the sky for those 6 weeks also can be about spending money, but Jupiter is trying to ensure the spending is well done and it's for investments or things that will benefit you financially. So you may be spending to make money, but it's just a good money story. Lastly, Jupiter expands everything, and this is a house of what you put in your mouth, food and substances that maybe you shouldn't be putting in your mouth, like addictions and stuff. And Jupiter might expand that. You might expand your food repertoire, move away from vegan to vegetarian, or some limited food. Except that when Mars is there, May 24th to early July, he's the elimination, cutting, severing god. So it may be auspicious, lucky ways to change your food style for better energy or better outcomes in your life. Okay, because your vitality as well is a part of what that energy of the second house can offer you. Okay, so because it feeds the first house. Okay, so that was a fast and dirty all signs generality. Please check my Sky Reader course, and please check the description box to see what else I have going on. Sign up for my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter. All during the month, we'll be talking about little things that happen that with Jupiter now in Aries. So you want to just check in, because I'll go into much more detail as Jupiter begins to connect with other energies in the sky as he moves through Aries. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. Have a sweet day. Big hugs to all of you. And I am done. Oh, I can't believe I did that so quickly. All right, let me sign us off. Ciao, ciao.